There is a major issue now in Season 1, 2, and 3 that could completely affect the way the game runs for all players, and today I will be talking about it. I will be discussing how you can access Season of Conquest commanders early. I will talk about the issues in KVK 2 and 3 with Season of Conquest players being there. I'll talk about who it really affects, about ways to prepare your account, and I will give you my final opinion on the main issue. Now, if you want to be able to best prepare yourself for KVK 1, 2, and 3, or you want to know about the future of the game, even if you're in Season of Conquest, this is definitely a video you must check out. I'm sure you've heard by now, but you can access basically every single Season of Conquest commander, whether that be ZHUGE or Ramses, in KVK Season 3. So every single player in the whole entire game is basically at an equal playing field once you reach Season 3. If you are in, let's say, 1093 and you're in 3001, the Kingdom, then, oh well, you both have access to the same commanders. That's just how it works for some reason. So that's the new decision Lilith made, and I think it was a good decision, but the way they executed it was pretty poor. The idea behind it was to allow players in Season 3 to be able to access more meta commanders like the Season of Conquest commanders before they reach Season of Conquest. Because back in the day, it used to be, you're in Season 3, you reach Season of Conquest, good luck, you're thrown in the big deep waters with every single kingdom. Doesn't matter what your power is, doesn't matter what your commanders are, doesn't matter how old your kingdom is, you're all in one, good luck kind of thing. And in some ways the system worked, and some ways it was very flawed. The ways it was flawed, like you can't actually access a lot of the commanders to the degree that a lot of very, very veteran players could access them. Like if you think about it, an account that's 1,000 days old going up against an account that's like 400 days old, the 1,000-day-old account is going to win about 99% of the time. And that was where the issue truly came in, but this was a good way to fix it. The thing is, the way Lilith executed it was not right, and what they did was they just released it willy-nilly out of the blue. One day we got a mail from Lilith and they were like, hey, yo, guess what? We're going to add commanders into Season 3. And they didn't specify it was going to be literally every single Season of Conquest commander. They basically just said, we will be adding the next generation of commanders to Season 3. Most players inferred that as like Ramses and Artemisia. And then also, I think it was like Harold and Zeno. And William plus Chandragupta. That's what most people inferred it as, just the next generation of commanders. But Lilith was like, no. That's not what we're doing. We're adding every single Season of Conquest commander into Season 3. That's basically what they did. That is actually exactly what they did. So people who were left, let's say, if you invested in an Alex, let's just say, you invested in Alexander the Great, and then you got this man and you're like, okay, well, I guess that they're adding maybe the next infantry commanders. I'll have Guan, whatever. And you didn't really care that much, but then they were like, here's every commander, here's Scipio Prime. And a lot of players who reached Season 3 were left with like a 5-5-1-1 Alex that they could barely use. They were like, okay, well, I'm bringing my Alex on the field, and he's going to get wrecked because I have not got a Scipio. What am I going to run my Alex with Sun Tzu and people have like Boudica, LIANG? So basically, Lilith said to all players, no matter what commanders you have, if you're in Season 2 or 3, you've been screwed over. And then that's where the other issue comes in. Not only do you now, if you already have Alexander the Great or YSG or Saladin, have you been screwed over because you can't keep up with that Season of Conquest meta, especially for free-to-plays. Like, you can't just, out of the blue, get 400 gold heads. A spender probably could get 400 gold heads within like 2-3 months. For you, it's going to take like 6 to 7 to 8 months just to get those gold heads. That would be absolutely horrific for your account if you have to wait that long. And it's good for the very new players where it's like, okay, you're going to get one commander, wait until you reach Season 3 and then get the other one. But then there's also an issue there where every single commander you access in Season 2, so let's just go over them. Saladin, Alexander the Great, Constantine, you also access, I'm pretty sure, Tamiris, Edward of Woodstock, Genghis Khan. All of these Season 2 commanders have become completely irrelevant in every way. If you can access them, it's like, oh, okay, I have access to Alexander the Great in Season 2. That's pretty neat. That's normal. But the thing is, you can basically only use him for 1 KVK now. If you're using any of those Season 2 commanders, you're using them in 1 KVK and that's about it. Like, you're not going to use them past this KVK if we're being real. Who past KVK 2 is going to use their Alexander the Great by itself with like some of the older commanders? I don't know. So like, if you're in KVK 2, you're either going to not get Alex and get Scipio later, or you're going to get Alex and then be screwed over when everyone gets Scipio. That's where the real issue started to come in. And this is where Lilith screwed over themselves. All of their Season 2 commanders have basically become irrelevant. And that means either they have to add museum relics, which we know in my video I spoke about it, museum relics are super overpriced now. Like, to get a Season 2 relic, you have to grind for upwards of half a year to like get enough coins to buy a relic. let's say you get Genghis Khan, or let's say you get Saladin, which is more realistic. You have a Saladin 5551, and you're like, okay, I'll use Saladin with Nevsky, and when I reach Season of Conquest, I will take my Saladin and get his relic. You have to wait another half year to get the Saladin's relic. That's where the issue truly comes in. Because now, commanders that you used to be able to use very, very effectively, like they were peak efficiency, some of the best commanders in the whole entire season, like Season 2 and 3, Alexander the Great, Constantine, Edward of Woodstock, YSG, Tamaris, all of those commanders are now basically irrelevant Season 3. And if they're not irrelevant, they're suboptimal. Like, you're not going to beat a CPO Guan when you're using a CPO Alex. It's just not going to work like that. And if this was Season of Conquest, I'd say, okay, fine. They had a big warning. They knew that this was coming. But these new changes came out of the blue. So now, how would you really prepare your account? And I'm going to talk about the present and the future. So right now, let's say you're in Season 2, and I know there's a few people who watch my videos who are in Season 2, and you've got an Alex at 5551. So you've got your Alex at 5, 5, 5, and 1. That means you've maxed the first 3 skills. You didn't max the last one. But what do you do from here? Do you max your Alex? Do you just leave him? Do you bench him? Like, what do you do? And here's what I think you do personally. For now, you just get CPO Prime. You go in and you just pretend that you basically reached Season of Conquest early, because you are lucky in one regard that you can still play Season 3 with people who are in Season 3. You don't have to get thrown in with all the Season of Conquest players. So for now, you get yourself an Alexander the Great and you put him with the CPO Prime. And you pretend you're playing Season of Conquest normally. And once you reach full Season of Conquest, then you can decide what you do from there, which other commander pairings you go for. But if you have, let's say, a 5551 Alex, you get the CPO and you pair them together. If you have a 5551 Saladin, just put him with your Nevsky. If you have a 5515 YSG, put him with like a Zhang Yu or with a Boudica Prime. All of those commanders are an option, and just play the KVK normally. You will be obviously let down in the long term as those commanders become less and less powerful. The thing with YSG is at least you can access a double relic for him, and this is actually oddly almost cheaper than getting a 1 Season 2 relic. Plus, some of the commanders don't even have Season 2 relics yet. Every commander basically besides the Season 2 cav commanders don't exist. So you're best off just using the YSG if you do already have him, putting him behind Boudica and getting his relic when you can. Now, if you're a brand new player to Rise of Kingdoms, like you've just started, you're not even at Season 1 or 2 yet, here's what you do in my opinion. There are 2 ways you could go. You could just get YSG and use him until you reach Season 3 and then get yourself a Boudica Prime and use Boudica YSG. That is one option. Or you can just use only epic commanders. If you're happy with possibly not fighting in KVK2, then just use epics only. Epics only is perfectly fine for like a KVK1 and then maybe like slight fighting in KVK2. Not as much, but like you'll still get some fighting. Like you could run a Bjorn Sun Tzu, you could run Kusunoki with Herman. I mean, it might work. It's not going to trade amazingly, but it might work. And then you just go in, you've stashed all your gold heads from KVK1. You just go in and you max both the season, like you max 2 Season of Conquest commanders. You max, let's say, CPO Prime and Guan, or you max CPO Prime and Sargon, or any of those commanders, CPO and Tarek, or you max Nevsky with Joan. Those are the options that you have at the moment. And it's really, really limiting for newer players because you have to make the decision. Do you get a commander that's good short term like YSG, or do you get a commander that's going to last you long term but you can't fight for a while? Like YSG back in the day, you'd look at him and you'd be like, okay, I'm going to use him for 3 seasons. He makes sense. He's like a 9-month commander and he's pretty good in Season of Conquest. Now, he's average in Season of Conquest if we're being realistic. He's going to trade well, but he's not going to be amazing. And if you're being even more realistic, you can only use him really for 2 KVKs before you have to access all of these new and better commanders. Now, there's one more issue that goes on top of all of this, and it's that all players, no matter how old their account is, if they're in Season 3, they can access all of their Season of Conquest commanders. If I migrate to Season 3 right now, which you can't do, but let's say I migrate to Season 2 and then go to Season 3, if I join in their KVK, I'm running my max Boudica with ZHUGE, I'm running my max Henry with YSG, I'm running my Nebu and my Cyrus. I've got all of these commanders at a much higher level than this whole entire kingdom would basically have, even close to at the time. Like, I can assure you, I'm going to absolutely destroy some of these newer players' accounts just because my account is older, with more commanders, more equipment, more resources, and stuff like that. So the other issue is, you can't even just use your Season 3 commanders as effectively because each kingdom will have basically around 50 or so players who have Season of Conquest commanders. They will have access to those really powerful commanders. And that's where another issue comes in. Like, yeah, okay, you could run your Alexander the Great with Sun Tzu in Season 3, but then someone's going to come along from a way older kingdom who's probably got like 6 billion kill points with an XY Nevsky and just kill it. Like, there's nothing you can do. And that's where it is. Like, they basically said, all right, we're going to add all these commanders in Season 3. That's smart, all right? Let them access them early. But then they were like, okay, now you can also migrate more people to Season 2. They do 1 KVK Season 2, and then they're in Season 3. And now you can use all these commanders in Season 3. So you've got players who have 1,000-day-old accounts in Season 3 Kingdoms who are going to use them in this Season 3 KVK to basically destroy every player on the open field. So this overall creates an A, more unenjoyable experience for all Season 2 and Season 3 players. B, it does not set up any free-to-play players' accounts at all in a good way. Like, no free-to-play player now can even consider really investing in a lot of those early game commanders that used to be usable. Here's just a quick example, like 144 million power player. I can assure you this guy has got almost every single Season of Conquest commander at a very, 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 very high level. These guys are running a Guan with a Herald just like straight up outside. Like, these are commanders that most players do not have reasonable access to yet, which is why Lilith definitely should have given players a lot more notice. And that's my final opinion. If Lilith was going to do this, they should have given everyone like 3 months of full notice. They were like, we are adding this in the next update. Keep that in mind. You have 3 months and we're going to add it. If you're in Season 2 and 3 now, you can invest in your Alex and you'll be fine and you'll reach Season of Conquest and everything will be normal. But for every new player who's pre-Season of Conquest, like preparation season, in 3 months, we will be changing it exactly like this. And that's what would have really been really good for the community, because then people would have known, okay, I can max my YSG and I'll use him in Season 3 because there's going to be like Edward Tamaris on the field as the best Archer March. My YSG is going to trade well. And then I can use him in Season of Conquest and I can basically play Season of Conquest as normal. And then what they also did was they made it so Season of Conquest players, when they reach Season of Conquest, verse kingdoms that are of the same age of them basically. And that was also really, really, really smart. I praise them for that. But the thing is, when they changed Season 3, they screwed it over. So if they kept Season 3 as normal for a little bit longer and then made that preparation season for Season of Conquest a bit longer than it normally is now, and then shrink it once they make Season 3 basically, where you can access all the Season of Conquest commanders, they would have set up the game to be so much better, and it would have made a lot more sense. Now, the only way you can actually keep up with the meta in Season 3, and even Season 2 if we're being real, is to buy things on the daily special offer. Like, someone who hasn't like enough money to spend on the game is just going to buy a Guan, probably buy a Harold, because those are both very usable commanders, buy Chandragupta, buy William, and they're going to destroy every other player that's basically preparing for Season of Conquest. Most players are rocking up right now to Season 3 with an Alex YSG. Alex like 5511, YSG 5515. Maybe YSG's expertise if they spend a little bit of money. They're screwed is basically what I'm saying. And Lilith definitely should have thought this over a little bit more before they did it, because I know a lot of players are not happy. I had people in my live stream today not happy about it. Now, if you have any issues with these changes in Season 2 or 3, maybe you completely agree with me, Lilith should have given everyone more notice, just tell me in the comments. I'm very interested to hear your perspective. I also want to mention that I made a video about investing in Alex right now, and is he even still worth it? This video will be on the end screen, and for most players who want to use Alex, already have Alex, or want to invest in Alex, it's a video that you should check out. It will be on the end screen in a couple of seconds. Now, I just want to say I thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.